Guys, just want to make a quick video today to talk about my newly changed face tattoos. I'm super excited about it. I can barely contain my excitement. I was fairly excited when I got my throat blacked out. That wasn't as immediate though, because that's a multiple stage project. These roses that I've added to my face here, or changed the stars into these roses, are some of the funnest tattoos I've had in I don't know how long. Most satisfying anyway, if not like you're not jumping for joy like at a kid at a playground or something, but like in terms of what I can still do with my tattoos with how much I have, this was a big change for me, like a big momentous day, you know. I had these stars on my face, and I really, I did enjoy the stars for a lot of years, but they seemed a little bit hopeless. Like, I almost felt like I was, you know, gonna have them forever. I don't hate them, but they could be better, right? And it's not like I can reshape them. So they kind of were what they were. And we came up with a plan to make everything look a lot nicer. And I think that these roses are a lot more fitting for my image and for kind of what I want to look like going ahead. Ears kind of bugging me, sorry. These roses kind of suit the whole aesthetic I have. Obviously they flow with all the other roses I have and stuff, and just kind of the stars were something that I liked when I was younger, and I think that it was a cool thing to do because those stars were meaningful to me. I explained in a prior video, I used to sign my drawings and stuff with those, like I would sign my name and those stars would be all around it, kind of like a signature for my art. But going forward, they're just not really fitting anymore. So what I was afraid of with covering them up was making a whole lot more of a mess on my face. Like, I've already got a lot going on in here, and I didn't really want to just start adding more things because there's not a lot of space, like prime real estate left. I mean, unless I want to tattoo my nose or like the dead center of my forehead, and you know, so there's not like a lot of prime real estate left on my face to use. Because I don't want a full face mask, is another thing I said in a prior video. So I wanted whatever the solution was to be fairly elegant and, you know, not bulk up the area too much because it's right in the center of my face. And so I think we did it. And because of the way the roses build in, it doesn't really drape onto my face too much. Kind of ends up just sort of framing off. And it lines up nice even with my cheek piercings and my eyebrow tattoos that I already have. So part of what I want to talk about is face tattoo pain. So these ones didn't hurt at all. The only face area tattoo that I've had that's hurt at all was my chin for some reason. It was a little bit painful there, and it bled like crazy. I had like this constant blood drip from my chin. But like these ones today, you can see there's just a little bit of blood starting now, but they won't bleed too much, and they won't really swell too much. I might get a bit of a black eye. I seem to get a bit of a black eye when I get my stars touched up, or like the first time I got them tattooed, I got a bit of a black eye too, for whatever reason. And they do, your cheeks swell a little bit when you get tattooed there, but it's a really easy tattoo. Like, if I were to give it like a pain rating, it would be like a 2 out of 10. Like, you barely feel it in terms of what tattoos can do. And healing is really easy too for a face tattoo because there's no movement in that area. I'm going to probably be able to keep these Saniderm wraps on for 5-6 days if I want to. I'll probably leave them on until the tattoo's all the way through its main healing stage, just because if you can do that, that's always really good. It's just most areas have so much movement and swell up so much and bleed so much that you can't get away with that long of a Saniderm. But here I'm going to have no problem keeping it on for at least as long, maybe 2 or 3 days. At least as long as I want to keep it on. Now, if I feel like it doesn't need it anymore, generally speaking, if you can heal a whole tattoo in Saniderm, it'll be better saturated, and there's less risk of infection because it's such a nice wall against outside influences. Keeps everything moist without any chance of drying out, things like that. I should do a whole video on what I think of Saniderm eventually. But anyway, so face tattoos, not painful. Another part of this that I wanted to talk about was what I feel like face tattoos do as you get them. So people ask me all the time if I'm afraid to get tattooed on my face, or like, what could you possibly do for work? How are you getting a job? So a big thing is I've been employed for my entire adult life and most of my teenage life. I've been a cook in kitchens since I was 14, and I'm going on 31. And it's something that I started off just doing it kind of as a whatever job, but the more I got into it, the better I got at it. Naturally, you maneuver yourself into a position of, greater weight in the company and stuff, and I ended up the place I've been at now. I've been working at for 13 years, and I'm responsible for almost everything in the kitchen now. I take care of ordering and all the food stuff, and basically just all the management stuff is my job now, and I get paid fairly well for it, which is another thing. People are always like, how do you afford to get tattooed all the time? Like, well, I make decent money, and I'm not afraid for employment. There's not a place in the city I'm in that wouldn't hire me because of my skill set. So that being said, what I want to say to people is, don't get face tattoos if you don't have a skill that makes you valuable. It's maybe not what people want to hear, but the way the world works is, it's not easy to get jobs with face tattoos. Again, I'm not worried about it, but I could see somebody not being able to get a job because of it. Now, if I got fired tomorrow at my job, I would walk into just about any kitchen in the city and I would have a job within the day. And I say that with extreme confidence. So my work viability based on the way I look is not a question for me, which is why I do these things with no fear. But sadly, that's not the case for everyone. So I would recommend having a skill set if you're going to go heavy into this stuff. In terms of discrimination, well, it's hard for me to determine really if I get any more because of these, because before I had face tattoos, I had tons of facial piercings. And actually, when I had all the facial piercings, the reaction I got was worse than it is now that I have more face tattoos and tattoos in general. So I don't know if that's the world moving forward a bit. I mean, obviously you still get comments from people, you still get people being rude or saying like what they deem as hurtful things. I mean, I don't really take much offense. Seems to me that the people I go out with, like if I go out with my wife or my brother or my son and someone says something rude or people are staring, they get more offended for me than I get offended for myself. I don't know if that's just that I'm so numb to it, because I've been living with this face and this body for forever, and I barely notice when people say things and look at me, but other people seem to. But if anything, in my experience, the reaction has definitely become more positive and less negative throughout the years, and I expect that to continue. And I expect that at some point you're going to see face tattoos all over the place. Now, some people don't like face tattoos, and they might not like that idea, but guess what? Already in the workforce in the city I'm in, just about more people with tattoos than without. Even if it's just something with an arm, like someone with an arm tattoo, or they've got like something on their shoulder or, their chest or something. Leg tattoos are really common. Everybody has tattoos these days. So this idea that you can't be hired with tattoos is changing rapidly. And I find the only people who still think that way, they're going to be confronted with the change soon. Like, that's going to phase out. Good luck not hiring someone with a tattoo when the entire workforce has tattoos and that's all that's available to you. Sorry, but it's just not a viable long-term plan anymore. I mean, you could hold that mindset 10, 20 years ago, but good luck now. I think that that's in part due to people like myself, not to take all the credit. There are lots of people who push the boundaries more than me. Obviously, people who have blazed the path ahead for me, that I can do what I do because certain other people have stretched the comfort already. But people like myself who go to extremes, I think are the ones that because we go to the extremes, people can go, well, at least it's not that, right? And then it moves a little farther. And then I take it farther as people get more comfortable with what I'm doing. And gradually it increases the comfort zone of the world around me. So people ask me all the time, like, they're kind of like, does it bother you that everyone has tattoos now? Because you've had tattoos since before a lot of people did. And it's like, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that more people are unafraid now, and it makes it easier to be heavily modified myself, that other people are even slightly modified, and it makes them understand me better, and it's just good for the world, you know? I don't feel like it's some weird appropriation or something, or like I'm not a hipster about it, you know, where it's like, oh, that's my thing, how dare you? No. So in terms of like the face tattoo faux pas stuff, I think that it's going away. I do. Some people will still go, never the face, never the neck, never the hands. But that's. I think that's going to be non-viable in the near future. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling, and as I always do on the Wednesday after the tattoo, I have quite a bit of adrenaline, and plus just really excited about these roses. I think they're a lot cooler than stars. Maybe let me know what you think. If you like the stars more versus if you like the rose more, or if you don't really care. I'm sure not everyone is as excited as I am, but if you're doing lots of tattoos, and if you get face tattoos, you realize that the face tattoos, it's kind of like being a kid on Christmas. It does not get more exciting than that. So this is a big day for me. I feel like a whole new man. And if this wasn't too rambly, I'll probably make a video in a few days when these are healed. And yeah, you guys have a good day.